Right, so we shall begin. Right here we have the writing test. This writing test is going to be the task 1. I can remember we have actually treated task 2, which is essay writing. So for task 1, it's going to be either letter or report. Now, it will be letter for you if you are applying for study. If you are applying to go for, sorry, if you are applying for job. So if you are applying to get some form of permanent residency, or you are seeking some form of employment internationally, then your task 1 is going to be letter. But if you're applying to study abroad, your task 1 won't be letter. It won't be letter, it's going to be what we call report writing. So I will quickly take us on letter writing. So if your intent or if your plan for the IELTS exam is to apply for study, please, you just have to give me a little time. Let me take this first. Then after that, I would take the next, the other category on their own task 1, which is the report writing. So let's begin very quickly. Task 1 is called letter writing. And of course, we know what letter is. It is the oldest, letter writing is the oldest means of communication, right? Where people express themselves or pass messages across or information across from one person to another through writing. So, let me ask, how many types of letters do we have? Formal and informal letters. Alright, well, we have 3 types of letters. There are 3 types of letters. We have the informal letter, we have the semi-formal letter, and we have the formal letter. So these are the types of letters we have: informal, semi-formal, and the formal letter. Right? So we are going to look at these 3 types of letters very quickly, so we can also consider those that their task 1 is report writing. So we shall begin with the informal letter. But before then, it is important I show you the formula for writing letters. Okay, these are, or here is the formula for writing a letter. Whatever type of letter it is, this is the formula for writing letters. So, good morning, welcome. So, first and foremost, your letter should have salutation. So, you're meant to express salutation when you begin your letter. And then after that, you are expected to have 3 to 4 paragraphs. 3 to 4 paragraphs. You can see that the 4th paragraph here is optional. So it's not compulsory. So you can either have 3 compulsory paragraphs or you have 4 paragraphs. Then lastly, you're meant to have your closure. So let's look at the informal letter. The S stands for what? Salutation. All right. Please, if your purpose of writing the IELTS test is to go for study, this is not for you. Yours is not letter. But immediately after this, we switch to yours. Right? Now let's begin very quickly. Informal letters. What are informal letters? What are informal letters? There you go. No, you came first.
Sorry?
Okay, someone is trying to explain. What are informal letters?
Okay, informal letters are, like she said, casual letters or letters that we write to people that we know. Example, like our friends and our parents.
Informal letters, letters you write to people you know. Is that the same idea?
Their names.
Yes, an unofficial letter.
They are unofficial letters. All right. Daisy, how would you? Okay, Daisy, this is not for you, right? You're going for study. Rakib, how will you define informal letters?
Informal letter is just you write to friends or family.
All right. They are to you. They are also casual letters you write to your friends and family. Very correct. Now for note taking, let's write down the definition of informal letters. Informal letters are letters you write to people who are related to you either by blood or by friendship. Right? Informal letters are letters you write to people who are related to you either by blood or by friendship. So by blood, we are referring to letters you write to your parents, your siblings, your relations. Then by friendship, we're talking about letters to your friends. They are people you have very close relationship with. Now, examples of informal letters. Examples of informal letters would be letters you write to your parents, right? Letters you write to your siblings, letters you write to your friends, and whoever. Right, so these are the different examples of the informal letter. Now let's look at how the informal letter should go.
Sorry, look at.
Oops. Sorry. So, okay. Okay, those online, I believe you can still see the board. All right. Now let's look at how the informal letter should look like. The first thing you must have is what we call the salutation. S right here represents or stands for salutation. So your informal letter should express your salutation beginning with the word dear, then whoever it is you're writing to, and then a comma comes in, right? But let's establish something before we move ahead. In your normal letters, let's assume this is your paper. In your normal letters, you usually have something written on this part. And then there is something you also write at this part, and then perhaps something you write here, then the body of the letter continues. Is that correct? What we usually write right here? Address. Whose address?
Your address.
Writer's address. Writer's address is usually written up there, right? Then what do you write over there?
No.
Recipient's address. So right here you put up and down the receiver's or recipient's address. Then right here, what do you usually write? The subject of the letter, right?
Yes.
Now in IELTS, you do not need any of these guys. Do we understand this? In IELTS, please do not write any of these, whether your address, the recipient's address, the subject of the letter. You don't need any of that. You are required to begin your letter with salutation, strictly. That's all. You do not have time
That's
to
a
start
formal letter or
for formal letter. Any type of letter you're writing at all, go straight to salutation. Right? Alright. Now, salutation here, whatever expression you put here is largely dependent on your relationship with the person, how intimate you are with the person. Now, informal letter is that type of letter in IELTS that examiners expect you to express yourself as though you are having the normal rapport with the person. So you're meant to express yourself without bringing in official words, basically. You are free to bring in contractions. It's only in informal letters and during your speaking tests that you show off contractions. We remember what contractions are, right? Instead of writing cannot, you have to write can't. This is contraction. You are supposed to express that in your informal letter because it is casual. Now, it is also allowed in informal letters for you to bring in abbreviations. In informal letters, right? It is also accepted in informal letters for you to bring in nicknames in informal letters, right? So let's come back here. When you say dear whoever it is, what is your relationship with the person? You can say dear mom or dear mom, whichever you want to use. You can use dear dad, right? You can choose to say dear CJ, right? Then remember, comma has to come in. So whoever you are writing to, choose whatever salutation or whatever name you want to use to address the person. So after writing that, you go straight to your paragraph 1. Your paragraph 1 as an informal letter should have what we call exchange of pleasantries. Exchange of pleasantries. And after that, you will have what we call recall of past memory. Recall of past memory. Then after that, you bring in what we call purpose of writing. Okay. Then your paragraph 2, you are expected to show off detailed purpose of writing. And to show off detailed purpose of writing, you're meant to bring in facts and figures. Facts and figures. That's what will help to make it a lot more detailed. Then your paragraph 3, you are meant to either proffer solution or indicate your preferred solution. And to do this, you are to show off what we call when and how you want the issue to be resolved. Okay? Then your paragraph 4, which is optional, what you're to bring in right here would be conclusion. Conclusion. Then at the end of the day, you also show off closure. And closure in informal letter could be best wishes, comma, then whatever name you like to use. It could be a nickname, it could be a pet's name, it could be your single name. You can as well choose to say warm regards, then whatever name you want to bring in. Okay. Thank you. So let's explain these templates of the informal letter. Let's explain this. Please, if you are viewing on YouTube, kindly click the like button, please. Thank you. Now let's come back here. Exchange of pleasantries. What does it mean? This is where you get to ask the person certain queries or inquiries. For instance, normally, dear mom, how are you? What do you bring in here? Question mark. Dear mom, how are you? How have you been? If you wish. How have you been? What you bring in? Then how is everyone? Then blah blah blah. You then come in and say, I hope all is well. What you bring in? Full stop. Why do you bring in full stop at this point?
Because the statement is a sentence.
It's a statement.
It's a sentence.
It's a sentence. And these ones not sentences.
They are questions.
They are questions. Questions don't make sentence.
No, like here. They are
Even
questions.
I hope understand. To understand.
I would like us to understand why. Why this should not carry question mark. It's not because it is a
Because
sentence.
You are not asking the person. You just hope.
Because it's a rhetorical expression. You're not expecting a response. Do you understand? It's called rhetorical expression. Alright, so when you have exchanged pleasantries, full stop, you then continue on the same line after the full stop and talk about, Mom, I still remember the last visit. Maybe you write a letter to inform your mom about your graduation party that is forthcoming, and you are officially inviting her according to the school's directives. So, for recall of past memory, you might want to say, Mom, I remember the last visit you made to my school. It was quite memorable. I tell you, Mom, it was the talk of the day in my school after you left, because of the wonderful or delicious meal you brought, the varieties that you came with, which I had to share with my classmates and roommates as well. Then, coming with a little music device that we played while we were sitting and having the meal was the highlight of that visit, because you didn't just come with any music, you came with music that were on the chat box, which were raining at that point in time, so it drew attention of everyone around me. So you are recalling a past memory. I sincerely look forward to more of these. Notwithstanding, Mom, I'm actually writing to let you know that my graduation party is coming up on the 4th of December, and my school has actually authorized us, the graduates, to invite our parents. Purpose of writing. At this point, you are done with your paragraph 1. Right? No long stories about the purpose. So all you do is, how have you been? I hope all is well. How is mom? How is dad? How are my siblings? Then, Mom, could you still remember the last visit you made to my school? Blah blah blah. Do a little recall. Then, I'm actually writing to inform you that you dropped the reason. Yes, please.
For these letters, is there still number of words?
150.
The same thing.
No, essay is 250.
No, okay, like I'm saying, like for the letters, like I know the report writing that tax 1.
150.
But for a letter,
150 minimum.
for instance, is a formal letter. The same thing.
Any type of letter it is.
Because most formal letters generally you don't go speaking too much. What are you saying? Like maybe 150 words.
150 words is what you're meant to
It's not
hit.
much, it's like
You will get
They'll
that
give you
before your
the
paragraph,
right.
before you are done with your paragraph 3, you have hit 150 words.
Now I'm not even saying because of the exam purpose. You are writing a formal letter, like in real life. Now you
They'll
want to
give
write
you
them.
details of what to write on, so it will, you will now have the...
No, I understand what
Like,
he's saying.
you are applying for a job now. You are not supposed to sit down this talking story. Yeah, it's particular for you. That's why they say formal letters are very concise, simple, straight to the point.
Yes, I understand.
you can
No one
detail your
has time.
CV inside.
I understand. Okay. You're mad. You want to say something? I think.
I know, so for this, I think I've gone through this after I told you yesterday that we should go through it. So they give you details of what you will write. They will tell you, okay, tell the person about your job, your qualification. So you have a space, a paragraph for writing your qualifications. You can decide to put anything you want to put there. Then they might also say something about why you really need this job. You just start putting down things. They might give you like 3 things to write about. So by the time you're done, you've exhausted almost 250 words.
Now, yes, perfect, very correct. Now, in line with what he's saying, that in real life, formal letters are straight to the point kind of letters, right? You just expose or say whatever you want to say. Now, let me tell you something. Formal letters, true, they are straight to the point kind of letters. But do you know why a lot of people write letters and they are turned down or they are not invited? You are just very reserved. We don't know about you. So your letter should show a little bit about your personality in terms of workspace, about your achievements in terms of work experiences, about the positions you've occupied in your previous workplace.
But for someone receiving up like 1,000 applications, does he have time to be reading all
Yes,
that?
they do. There are things they look out for in your letter.
Okay.
Maybe we'll talk about that. It's a different, that shouldn't come in actually because I should prepare you for IELTS. I'm not the real one.
They have specifics.
There are specifics. You must say yourself out. Must they read your letter and they know a little bit about you?
Like in my office, we did an employment for a project, and they just gave us specifics like
What?
computer literates, leadership skill, like 3. And if you see the heap of more than 200,
Mm-hmm.
do you know we could only get like 20 that
Put
met?
those things.
Those requirements. You might not know that that's what they want.
They will just give you a
You just go straight to the point and submit the letter.
And to look for those
People that,
specifics.
yes. So letters, you need to sell yourself. You need to show off some skills, qualities, expositions, some practical successes or achievements you've made over time.
Some
Positions you've occupied.
positions, they just want to know what you have done. Finish.
That's all.
Just
So
one.
people write letters and they just read, they just trash. Because the key things they want to see
It's not good.
are not there. But let's come back here. So after exposing or expressing yourself, then you make some recall of past memory or memories, then you indicate your purpose of writing. paragraph 2, you're giving detail. Now this detail should be fact-like. Fact-like. Now what do you mean by fact-like? We talked about it in essay, right? It can make believe kind of information.
Yes.
So you want to say, how have you been? I trust all is well. Mom, I'm writing to let you know that my graduation party is coming up on the 4th of December, and the school has authorized us to invite our parents. Full stop. Here, detail comes in. Well, Mom, the time is almost here. The time I've always been looking forward to graduating from this school and moving on to the next level. And this will come up on the 4th of December. We have the program of events given to us already. So I'll just give you a snippet of what you should expect. The program is meant to commence on the 10th, commence by 10 a.m. It's supposed to last for just 3 to 4 hours, depending on how things will play out on that day. I also want to hint you a little bit that you are meant to dress not too official and not too casual. The school wants to see everyone looking very sassy, in a way that you'll be free to express yourselves through dance moves. Also, you are free to prepare meals while coming. Of course, it would be nice you prepare meals that will accommodate 2 or 3 more persons, as few friends of mine might want to come around, stay at our own space, just to enjoy whatever meal you are coming with. This program has made provisions for parents of best graduating students to give little validatory speech. Of course, I've always made you proud over the years, so it's high time that I bring you to the podium to sell you out to the world, where you have to say a little thing about me. So please make a little thing you like to say about me on that day. You're giving details. Now the details right here, I've highlighted the program of events. I've also given you a little figure, talking about 3 to 4 students in figure, not spelled. Talking about the dates when the program will take place, talking about the time. These things you must write in figures and not words. Okay? Now after that, you go to your 3rd paragraph, where you talk about solution. Now this solution, some people say, do you bring solution in letter? Yes, you bring solution in letter. For instance, it is an informal letter. What is the solution? You are telling your mom, because of the high rated nature of this graduation, it will be nice for you to come early so you have the front seat. And coming early might be you coming a night before, or you come pretty early that morning. School made provisions for lodge, where parents who decide to come a night before can stay overnight before the D-Day. So please let me know ahead of time, so I would also pass that to the school authority and management to make provisions for you if you'd like to come a night before, so we could also catch up prior to the D-Day. Then if you want to come straight to the school from the house, which will be on the day of the program, then please, I would like you to be here quite early, so you'd have a front seat. That's a solution, right? Also, talking about bringing additional meals, the type of drinks that are allowed. Of course, they might not want alcohol because they are students. They might just want soft drinks, wine, things, or natural juice that parents can come with. So those are solutions too. So you establish.
This should be under detail.
No.
Want to bring
Paragraph 3. So I'm just giving you instances of solutions. So coming early is a solution. Bringing the type of drinks that are acceptable are solutions. Right? Making prior plans, either to stay overnight or coming straight to the school. These are solutions too. So you want to establish all of that, when and how. Then your 4th paragraph, you're talking about conclusion. So your conclusion for informal letter you're simply expressing, thank you so much, Mom. You've always been there for me at all time, whenever I need you. Now, this will be a very memorable day for me, and I look forward to seeing you. And perhaps if you can come with your friends, that would be awesome. Thank you so much, and may God continue to bless you for me. Best wishes or warm regards, Teddy. Just one name, could be nickname, right? To express yourself however you want to express that. This is how informal letters should look like, right? Now let's proceed to feedback. Please, do we have any confusion? Is there anything you're not clear about when it comes to informal letters? Those online, Mr. Rakib, are you clear about informal letters?
Yes.
Okay, Daisy? No, not Daisy. Okay, I think you are the only one for the letter. Alright, thank you so much. Let's proceed. Let's go to the semi and formal letters.
Amen. We said we like driving for academic purpose. I now have business without this one.
Very correct. Okay, so let's look at the formal letters, the formal letters and the semi-formal letters. They are very similar, right? So I'm going to juggle the two together. Now, what's the difference between the semi-formal letters and the formal letters? First, formal letters are letters that are meant to be official. They are letters you write straight to someone occupying an official position that you have no relationship with, right? So formal letters you write and you accord formal qualities and characteristics. You don't know who is there, so you just write it and it has to be very formal. Then the semi-formal letters, these are letters you write to people that you have official relationship with. Right? Semi-formal letters are letters you write to people that you have official relationship with. Now let's look at examples of the formal letters. Examples of formal letters would be letters you write for employment. Letters you write applying for jobs. They are formal letters. Okay? Letters you write bidding for contracts. These are formal letters. Right? Letters you write for resignation. Resignations are formal letters as well. Right? Letters you write to media houses. These are also formal letters. So, now let's look at semi-formal letters. What are semi-formal letters? Semi-formal letters are letters you write to people that you have official relationship with, and examples would be letters you write to your lecturers, letters you write to your professors, letters you write to your children's school management or authority, letters you write to your landlord, letters you write to your clergy, letters you write to your monarchs, letters you write to owner of maybe a business firm that you have been patronizing over time. These are semi-formal letters. Please, you need to actually understand the difference. Now let's look at formal letters. How do you differentiate? In formal letters, it will tell you write a letter to the manager. It tells you, or it indicates just the position. And you don't know who is there, if it's a man or a woman. Do you understand? So at that point, it is a formal letter. But if it is going to be a semi-formal letter, it will tell you write a letter to your former employer. You know who your employer was, right? You know the name of the employer. You know the marital status of the employer. So you already have official relationship with the person. It might be write a letter to your former office or workplace and request for a recommendation or reference letter. You know who to address the letter to. Do you understand this? It could be write a letter for permission from your office. You know who to address the letter to. Write a letter to your school, your children's school authority, seeking for permission to be away during the exam period. Right? So you know who to address the letter. These are semi-formal letters. You already know the people. So let's understand how to apply the formula when treating the semi-formal and the formal letters. So let's begin. For semi-formal letter, the salutation should be, of course, you must begin with dear who. It could be dear Mr. Richie. No. Dear Mr. Richie. It could be dear Mrs. Davis. It could be dear Miss Tracy. It can as well be dear Miss Bookie. Okay, but for formal letters, there is only one standard approach, and that's dear sir / madam. Because you don't know if it's a male or a female that's there. Right? Now let's go to paragraph 1. For your paragraph 1, under semi-formal letters, you want to exchange pleasantries if you wish, but this is optional. This is optional. And after that, bring in your purpose of writing. But if it is the formal letter, you have no business exchanging pleasantries to the person you're writing the letter to. Alright? So you have to go straight to your purpose of writing. Like we said earlier, it's a straight to the point kind of letter, right? Then paragraph 2, you're talking about detailed purpose of writing. And this will require you to bring in facts and figures. Now the same thing applies here. Okay. All right. So, detailed purpose of writing is what comes in here. And then to express the detail, you have to bring in facts and figures. Now, the same thing applies when you're treating your formal letters, okay? Now, let's go to the third paragraph. What comes in? You are to either proffer solution or you indicate your preferred solution. And this will require you to show off when and how you want the issue to be resolved. Now, same thing applies here. Now let's go to paragraph 4, which is optional. So your paragraph 4 is all about conclusion. And same thing applies here. Then your closure for a semi-formal letter, it is best to simply say, yours sincerely, comma, then you bring in first and last name. Yours sincerely, then first and last name for semi-formal letter. Although you see people who would say maybe warm regards, then first and last name. So I'm saying kind regards, first and last name. But if it is a formal letter, there is only one standard template, and that would be yours faithfully, comma, signature, then first and last name. Okay, so these are the structures of your semi-formal letters and your formal letters. Now let's talk about them very briefly. Semi-formal letters, like I said earlier, are letters you write to people that you have official relationship with. So first and foremost, you know the marital status of the person, if it's a male or female that's occupying that position. Then you get to know the person's official name. At your place of work, you know what you address people by their names. Mr. Charles, Dr. this, Miss that. So when you are writing the letter, you must also address the person by the official name. Just one name is perfect. Okay? So after that, full comma comes in. Then your paragraph 1, alternatively or optionally rather, optionally you're meant to exchange pleasantry. Optional. It's not compulsory. But if you choose to express pleasantries, you are meant to restrict your pleasantries to your official relationship. Don't go asking your HR how the family is. You have no business with the family. If you are writing to request a reference letter from your HR, you are strictly meant to exchange pleasantries if you choose to by saying, "How are you, Mr. Richie?" or "How are you? How are you? I trust that the standard of the welfare at the office has improved tremendously, as well as patronage," right? So you are restricting your pleasantries to that official relationship. But if you do not want to express or exchange pleasantries at all, just go straight to your purpose of writing. That's all. Then if it is a formal letter, of course you don't even need to think of it in the first place. You just have to go straight to your purpose of writing. Now there is a standard to introduce your purpose of writing, whether the semi-formal letter or the formal letter. There's a standard of expressing that. And that standard would be, you simply say, here is the standard. It says, "I am writing in connection with," so whatever it is that you're writing for, you have to express this. So if at the end of your exchange of pleasantries, if you wish to, you then go straight to say, "I am writing in connection with my need for a reference letter." Do you understand? I'm writing in connection with an advert you published on one of the daily newspapers, inviting interested and qualified applicants to put in the application for the position of XYZ, right? So that's why you are writing. Now let's proceed to paragraph 2. Paragraph 2, you bring in your detailed purpose of writing. So this is where you now express what you want from the person you're writing to, right? So for semi-formal letter where you're writing for a reference letter, you now begin to talk about the fact that I recently applied for the position of XYZ with so company, and they have considered my application. However, they are asking or requesting a recommendation letter from my former office or place of work. And for this, I would like to appeal for a copy of such from you. This would largely determine my resumption with them. Because they might not be having more time to actually interview me or put me through the interview again after the series of interviews we've had, they will want to see what I have done and achieved in this office. So I would like you to indicate my so-and-so, my ability to work with so-and-so team, my ability to be innovative, my creative thinking. Just establish all of these points. You are given details. So, your ability to work for so-and-so number of hours, your ability to work consecutively for 30 days without taking a break. So you talk about all of these, you are bringing in facts and figures, right? So these are information you are to bring in. But if it is a formal letter, your detailed purpose of writing, you might want to introduce yourself. You might want to talk about the number of years of experience you've actually worked. You want to talk about where you've covered, what positions you've occupied over the years. You want to talk about a few things about yourself. These are information you need to actually talk about when you are writing your second paragraph. Then your paragraph 3. For semi-formal letters, you have to bring in how you want the letter to be delivered and when you want it to be readily available. Now, talking about when, because you have been given a tentative resumption date by your new to-be employer, you want your reference letter from the previous office to be readily available on or before the 2nd of maybe February, because your new employer would want you to resume on the 4th. So if it's available on the 2nd, it's either you go to pick it up yourself, or you want them to dispatch it using a dispatch, a courier company. Also indicate that you are willing to take care of all the financial implications that it would incur. Right? So those are solutions you want to bring in for semi-formal letters. Now for the formal letter, what solution will you bring in? You want to talk about the fact that you have actually done so and so in your previous offices, the previous places you've worked for. You have done them successfully. So if I'm given the opportunity to work with you, I am also giving you that within the first 3 to 4 months, I would achieve so and so and turn the returns you've been recording over the years around because of my expertise. It's a proven success I've had over the years. So I will be also repeating the same if I'm opportune to work with you. Right? So you're bringing in things you will do, maybe the training you would give out or conduct for their staff, the ideas you will bring to the table, maybe different things you want to talk about. Those are solutions for your formal letter. You are talking of things you're going to bring newly, new things you will do to improve their standard. Then your paragraph 4, which is optional, you express your conclusion. So expressing conclusion can come either in paragraph 3 or paragraph 4. It depends. If your paragraph 3 is a long read, if you've written so much already in your paragraph 3, you need to have the 4th paragraph. You need to have the 4th paragraph. But if you feel your paragraph 3 is not so lengthy, then you can bring your conclusion there. Now, when you are concluding, there is also a standard to show off. The standard is, I would appreciate it if that's the way to begin to conclude your essay. Sorry, your letter. Then, after the conclusion, your closure comes in. Like we said, you conclude, you close your letter by either saying yours sincerely, then your first and last name. Or you close your letter by saying warm regards, for semi-formal letters specifically, warm regards, then your first and last name. And that's it. You do not sign, you don't need to append your signature for a semi-formal letter. But if it is a formal letter, you express yours faithfully, then append your signature, and then bring your first and last name. And that's it. Yes, please.
Semi-letter.
Semi-formal.
Semi-formal letter. Where does it come?
Pardon?
At what point do you write a semi-formal letter?
In IELTS or in real life?
In real life.
When you are writing letter for permission to travel, that's a semi-formal letter. When you are writing a letter to your lecturer to notify him or her about something, it is semi-formal letter. When you're writing a letter to your landlord to complain about something about the house, it is semi-formal letter. When you're writing to your clergy, maybe your imam, your pastor, your reverend priest, is a semi-formal letter. When you're writing to the monarch of your community, it is a semi-formal letter. Why is it a semi-formal letter? You already have that existing relationship. You know the person by the first name, by the name, you know the person's marital status. You have established a level of relationship.
That's for Nigeria.
For Nigeria?
Yes, because this semi-relationship people that we have, still, if we're writing a letter, it's more of formal letter than even the semi, because I can't me like this make I go address my king as their HRM. No. There was someone from village that day. Do you understand? Explain some details, but officially, like you have said, that is the official way to do it. But for Nigeria, when you start writing all these things,
Okay, let me tell you why.
It's more of informal letter.
Let me tell you why. The reason it's like that, or the reason we think this way, is because they were also not taught the right thing.
Yes, that's it.
They were also not taught the right thing. So they have assumed that you have to address me that way. So if you go the other way, if you use the appropriate template, it's considered disrespectful.
Yes.
Like
Right?
when you said that in the office, you call your colleague or maybe watch senior person, Mr.
Yes.
by his name.
Yes.
How many will call their
But that's the normal thing to do. You
That is
address
normal,
them, not to
yeah.
like
But yeah.
auntie, massa. You should address them, even if it's your
Nigeria.
boss.
No, if understand what he's saying.
I do.
The people who call our boss. You want to call your boss and you're saying
Mr. Mark.
Mr. Mark.
Some will even say mommy that day.
That's if you say Mr. Mark, Mr. Mark will look at you as have you grown to this level?
Yeah.
So they will start pressing to push you out, right? But the standard approach, go to anywhere in the world,
Yes.
they address the people by their official names.
Even small children say.
Do you understand? When you go to schools, this time around, they no longer call auntie.
Some good schools.
If you go to some good schools that are actually practicing the Western curriculum, they no longer call auntie and uncle.
Mr.
Mark.
Hello, Mr. John. My dad would like to see you. Hi, Mr. John. Good morning. That's the way it's addressed. Because the previous thought, the previous teachings, the previous knowledge we had about teachers used to be uncle, auntie. And look at the meaning of uncle and auntie. Your father's brother or your father's sister. Is your teacher related to your father? No. So that's the issue. So if it's to be corrected, it's going to go through the foundation again. So it will be a very big assignment. Alright, so that's it about letter writing, the informal letters, the formal letters, and the semi-formal letters. I have told us how to identify the questions, because most people fail letters because of misinterpretation of the questions. If you misinterpret question, then you'll be writing a wrong letter. For formal letters, I've told us you'll be required to address it to a particular position. That's all. No name will be included. But for semi-formal letters, it will tell you to write to your former landlord, or your landlord, or your former lecturer, or there will be a kind of relationship that will be established. Then for informal letters, of course, you know what it is. Your parents, your friend, your blah blah blah, there's a relationship. Right? Alright, so that's the way to go. This is all about the semi and the formal and the informal letters. I will forward samples of the letters to you, please. You need to read up, see the different templates, and see how straight to the point they are.
We're writing AC.
And
Reports.
letter. No.
Letter. So
You are only writing essay and letter. You're not going for study. Those that will be going for study will write essay and reports. They won't write letter. So your letter, your writing test training is completed because you've taken the essay and you've taken the letter right now. Okay? Now I'm going to face those that will be going for study. They have taken essay, so I'll be going straight to report writing. In case you want to take a leave, that's all for today for letters. I will send samples to you, right? Then I will face those going for study right about now.
you're online now.
Yes, I am.
On YouTube or
Yes, on YouTube.
If I'm online,
Can
I'm
actually
used to.
join.
I can't talk to you
Ah,
now.
yeah,
Just
just
like you
Yes,
talk
no.
to me.
You don't want to listen
I
to the
like you
contract.
talk to me. I tried it yesterday.
Have you collected your
Yes, the reason you
So
can't
yeah,
talk
ask
to
him.
me.
Mr. Ben,
Yes,
Say he has
please.
marked it.
say it back to my essay.
Yes, I have.
You have not marked mine. No.
Yes, I couldn't, but I'll still do that today. You'll need the notes. I've marked your essay.
Mr. Ben, did you mark my own essay too?
Oh, yes, you have sent it to me, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I see it?
I'll go through. I'll go through today and revert back to you with it.
Let me see now because
Alright,
Have
thank
you
you.
seen it?
I'm not seeing it. You know, yesterday I was in a rush.
Sorry.
So I want to follow you. Where will I see the pen?
You say you don't stay so far from here now. You say you don't stay too far from here now. And just ask people around if there's a mechanic workshop. There might be a panel beat around who will help you reset the bumper.
They used to be in that market, but I think they
Which market?
This market opposite the
Okay.
But this is the first time you are sending this one for me. This is the first time you are sending this approval. This one that has to be registered. Yes. Nah. The approval and
I don't know if you saw my message. Did you see my message on WhatsApp? Did you see my message?
Yes, those are some of the corrected. Maybe tomorrow we might talk about all of these areas. Hello, good morning.
No class.
Hello, madam. Excuse me. Please. There's nobody there. This is an office. Hello? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Okay. Kindly just drop a message on WhatsApp to this line. Everything will pop up automatically. We were actually having a class and it was going on, and that's why I told you to get phone. All right, so let's begin.
Every morning, do you have, I sent you the patient prescription. Is it available? So I should drive down to your place now and come and drink that. Take it with me. When will you get to the office? 30 minutes. Oh, yeah, no problem.
All right, so let's begin. We are looking at the report writing. Report writing here is meant for people who are applying to study abroad. So if you are looking to study abroad, this is for you. Now, report writing is meant to last for 20 minutes. Just 20 minutes. And within these 20 minutes, you are expected to write a minimum of 150 words. Minimum. You can, of course, write more than 150. But do not write less than 150. Right? So writing less than 150, you'll be losing marks. Do we understand?
Yes.
So let's begin. Your report writing question can be a pie chart question. It could be a line graph. It could be a bar chart. It could be a table. It can be a histogram. It could be a pictograph. It can also be an infographic. Whichever it is.
Like the first one I did that day about the park, that's pictograph, right?
About the park? Yes, that was the park. Okay, that's a plan. That's a plan. Now let's look at, these are different areas where your report writing question can be drawn from. Now, what matters is not where it's coming from, but what matters is how to treat the question. It is practically the same approach you might want to take, just few dynamics that you need to deploy to treat the different kinds of questions. Alright, so let's understand. A pie chart looks like a what?
A circle.
Looks like a donut or a pizza with different segments. Now, if it's a pizza-like kind of question with different segments, the segments can be color coded, or the segments may be just designed in different ways, maybe slanted lines, shaded with different kind of things. And then they will be rated in percentage most times, different rates. In some cases, you might have two different pie charts. One representing a particular period, maybe 19 something or 2000 or something. Then the second one represents another period. So you're meant to give reports about the two types of charts. You talk about the two, right? Remember that the two different charts will bear the same different items. Maybe on the first pie chart you have marshmallows, chocolates, butter, blah blah blah. Then the second one also have those things, but you then see different rates and different years, right? So you're meant to talk about the different periods and the different years. Line graph. For line graph, you will see a kind of graph that has lines. But they are going to have different, this thing. So maybe this first one then another one would come this way. Then another one will come this way. Oops. Oh, I'm shooting the one I've actually. Okay, so this is for this. Now let's look at, you would notice different designs right there, right? This one has more of long broken lines, right? This one has more of short broken lines. This can be considered to be dotted lines. So they would each represent different items, right? Then you see different years right here. And you see different units right here. So when you get to this point, you'll be required to identify that in this year, that this particular one started off at about whatever rate that is used to evaluate. Maybe it could be percentage, it could be billions of dollars, it could be tons of whatever it is. You get to see that particular value written here. So this is how line graph looks like. So you begin to talk about how the movement actually went. And remember, report writing is usually about things that happened in the past too. You talk about things that happened in the past, so you must use past tenses. Don't use will. Don't use present tense. Make more use of past tenses, please. Do we understand? Okay, so let's proceed. If it is bar charts can be, you would have a kind of similar design of what we have on the board, and then it would come in different bars, right? So let's look at this together.
Okay, I don't know if you say we should write an essay and this report, or it could be report or essay.
You are treating both reports.
Your tax one in the writing, this thing is report writing for studies. Those who are doing the general will write letter. Then tax 2 is your essay. Everybody must write out. That's 150. So that's the one that has 40 minutes. This one has 20 minutes. In total, 60 minutes for writing test. So that's why most of them left. Because if they are not writing this stuff, going for this stuff, that means they are doing letter writing. And the other one, the one that takes 40 minutes, that the one that carries more mark than this one.
Okay, you have to do the two, or you
You do
choose
the
one.
two. Now, your writing test consists of tax 1 and tax 2. So tax 1 is usually the report writing, like for now studies.
Okay.
Yeah, tax 2 is the essay. Then for those doing the general IELTS, the tax 1 is letter
Letter
writing.
writing.
All right. So this is the way.
Bar chart.
This is the way a bar chart looks like. Bar charts. So you're meant to actually talk about the different things you have there. Here, you will notice that the bars are independent. Is that correct?
Yes.
So they are standing on their own. Now, you will also observe that there is what we call histogram. Histogram also looks like this guy, but there is a difference. The difference is that histogram links on one another.
Okay.
They join together. So if I'm to do histogram now, this one will begin from this point. Then this one will also get to this point. Do you understand the difference?
Yes.
Daisy, do you understand what I'm explaining? Mrs. Kotzi, are you there? Mrs. Kotzi, are you following? Okay, so let's talk about table. For table, you'll be given a table, for instance, then it would have columns and rows. Of course, there will be information or data provided, and they will have headings. So you have to report what you're seeing on the table. You have to report what you're seeing on the table. Remember, you must use past tenses. There are situations that happen in the past. So don't say will. The only time you can bring the word will is when there is an indication of the future. Maybe it talks about something that will happen in 2050, and this is just 2024. So it is something that is being predicted, right? So when you are talking about it, you also establish in view, right? So this is for table. Let's also go to infographics. Infographics in most cases will combine pictures and graph. So the graph might be pie chart and picture, it could be bar chart and a picture, it could be line graph and a picture, it could be table and a picture, it could be table and maybe pie chart together. So you now compare the two and make your report. You acknowledge the two data you have on those two different charts. Then you talk about them. Do you understand? While pictograph uses just a particular picture, right? So it could be a picture of maybe a machine that is used for so and so thing. Then you are meant to talk about that picture, how things move from one level to another, processing or taking different processes to arrive to a particular conclusion. Sometimes they call it process diagram. So it requires you to be very careful. You need to pay attention to details because that's what report writing stands for. Then plans or diagram, you might see an architectural design of a particular building or facility. It may not have been completed, or it may be the first design of that particular facility. Then it will give you a current or present day's design of that same facility. Maybe that facility was built in 18 something or in 17 something years ago, but the present design is based on the current taste of what people want, right? So you're meant to now talk about what was and what is. Do we understand? So let's go further into your report writing. For your report writing, you are expected to show off what we call advanced expressions. For advanced expressions, you have to bring in 3 different things. You have to bring in linking words. You have to bring in sequencers. And you have to bring in academic words. All right, so let's understand what does linking words entail. We treated this during the essay writing, right?
Yes.
They are words that are used to join two or more sentences or phrases together to become one. Okay, so let's proceed. Here, linking words are those words used to join or connect two or more independent sentences to become one. Examples of linking words: however,
furthermore,
no, contrarily, notwithstanding can be, yeah, we can, okay.
However.
Yes, you have said that. Whereas, more so, while,
In the nutshell, right?
no,
meanwhile,
right? So these are linking words you can use to join or connect two or more independent sentences to become one. Okay, let's proceed to sequencers. What are sequencers? They are words that can be used to either begin a paragraph or introduce another additional point in the same paragraph, right? They are words that can be used to either begin a new paragraph or introduce an additional point in a paragraph. An example of sequencer is first and foremost, where you want to start something. First and foremost, furthermore, additionally, consequently, subsequently, nonetheless, nevertheless, notwithstanding, contrarily, summarily, conclusively, in light of the above. There are so many. You can snap the notes, right? So those are sequencers that you should bring in when you are giving your report. They will help you to organize your report. They help you to explain or express what you can see. Okay? Now let's go to the last one right here. Here we have academic words. What are academic words? Academic words are those words that practically express or describe the movements of events on the chart. Academic words are those words that practically express or describe the movements of events on the chart. Please, do we understand this? Mrs. Court, are you following?
Yes, I'm here.
Daisy, are you there?
Yes, but I didn't catch what you just said.
I said that academic words are those words that practically describe the movements of events on a chart. They are words that practically describe the movements of events on a chart. So let's take examples of academic words. Loss.
Please repeat.
Loss. Lost.
LOSS.
Yes, that's loss. Loss. Lost. decline, depreciate, fall, rise, rose, increase, appreciate, recovery, fluctuate, dramatic, instability, significant, remarkable, drastic,
Repeat, please.
what was the last word you heard?
Drastic.
That was the last word I said. Can I continue?
Yes.
Right. Surge,
Search.
surge, surge, surge,
Search.
climax, apex, zenith, highest, lowest, least, meager, meager, trajectory,
Spell bigger. Please spell.
MEAGRE, meager, taken,
Yes.
equal, similar, okay, so these are some of the academic words you should please make use of whenever you're writing a report. They are advanced words, and they are the words that would help you scoop in a lot of marks because they are describing practically what is on your chart. So don't just use the casual words, bring in these academic words, bring in your sequencers, bring in your linking words. Okay? All right, so let's go to the next level. All right, so this is the formula for writing a report. This formula has okay, so this is the formula for writing a report. And this formula has its basis on P1 to P4, which means you're meant to have 4 paragraphs. Your essay, 4 paragraphs. Your report, 4 paragraphs. Now, each paragraph right here got its own components or features, that you should also bring in. So the first paragraph there has 2 major things you want to consider. The first is the paraphrase and the unit of measurement. Second, you're meant to give an overview of the whole chart. And to start the paragraph for the overview, you are advised to use the word overall because you want to give a total or holistic description, right? Then your third paragraph is about comparison. Comparison, that's the third paragraph. You're meant to begin with the word comparatively because you want to begin to compare.
But this comparatively, is it an academic word or
No, it's just an advanced word.
Okay.
Then the fourth paragraph, you have to bring in, maybe if you couldn't exhaust your comparison in paragraph 3, you come to your paragraph 4 and do the remaining comparison. Then you close your report.
Right.
Not conclude. We don't conclude the report. You close your report. Okay? Alright, so let's begin. During your report writing, the first thing you're meant to do is to paraphrase the question. You're meant to paraphrase the question. Right? So let's see. We have a question to look at. Just a moment, please. Let me get a question so we can work with one.
Reflect my day also. No. I was thinking. Why did they go for time?
Okay, I have the question right here with me. I would bring it very close to the screen. I would like you to do a screenshot of it when it I will also send it to your WhatsApp, but that will be much later. If we are ready, please, here is the question. Can you see the question? I'll take that again. Okay. So here we have the question. Have you taken a screenshot of it?
I can't see it.
Okay, it's not very clear, right?
Yes.
All right, I can see it from here. Let me try it again. Taken? Okay. Mrs. Scott, check. Is it visible to you?
Yes, not.
Daisy, can you see the question?
Yes.
You can see it from your end.
Yeah, that's on the ground, right?
Not what's on the board. I brought the question to the camera so you could just do a screenshot on your phone. So you would have something when we begin to treat it. Look at it. It's here in front of the camera. Please do a screenshot.
I've done it.
All right. Mrs. Cody, please try it again. It's actually clear from my end. All right, check please. For the YouTube, please, here is the question we are treating at the moment. You can simply do a screenshot of it because we'll be discussing this right away. All right, so let's begin. Mrs. Cody, how is it right now?
I can't really see, read the words.
Only the words? All right.
It's not really clear.
All right, I will send it to you on WhatsApp. I will send a scanned copy to you on WhatsApp. But let me just take you through this training. Maybe when you're reviewing the video with the copy you would have on your WhatsApp, I believe it will be very clear, right?
Okay.
All right, so let's begin. So the first thing you are to do when you begin your writing, when you begin your report writing, here is the question. Please, if you have it, can you read to me the question in the box?
The graph below
The graph below.
shows the spending of UK residents.
The graph below
Shows the
shows the
spending
spending
of UK residents.
of UK
Residents
okay,
on visits abroad.
on
Visits
visits abroad
between 1993
between 1993
and 2013.
and 2013.
13.
Full stop.
Yes.
Okay. Anything?
Summarize
Okay.
Summarize the information.
Summarize the information
by selecting and reporting and reporting the main features and make comparisons where relevant. Comparisons where relevant. Full stop.
Okay. So those online, we have the question on the board. Watch your phone. We have the question right there on the board. Please, in the next 2 minutes, I want us to paraphrase the question somewhere on your notes. You read out whatever you were able to paraphrase, just in 2 minutes, please. Our time starts now. All right, we have just 1 more minute.
Are we going to summarize this one?
You are just summarize only the question, just the question. 50 seconds more. Thirty seconds more. All right, so that's our time. So let's see what you were able to paraphrase. It would have been nice to hear you paraphrase the question before you
But she's not interested now.
You know where her mind is now. Oh, okay, so let's begin. Daisy, I would like to hear your paraphrase. Please, we're waiting. Unmute your mic. We can't hear you. Hello, Daisy, we are waiting for you, please. Mrs. Cody, please, can you paraphrase what you have? All right, since they are not ready with their paraphrase, let's begin with those in the class. Okay, let me hear what she paraphrased.
The graph beneath portrays the expenditure of UK occupants on trips to other countries between 1993 and 2013.
Thank you so much. I would give you 3.5 over 5. 3.5 over 5. Yes, please.
The graph below displays the spending of individuals residing in the UK during visits overseas from 1993 to 2013.
I'll give you 4.5/5. Okay. The people online, can I hear you now, please? Can I get your paraphrase?
The graph below. Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
The graph below illustrates the expenditure of UK residents on overseas travel between 1993 and 2013.
All right, thank you so much. Daisy, are you ready with yours?
What's by the March?
Pardon?
How percentage?
What's by March?
Okay, this is about 3/5 actually, because I have some reservations. Yes. All right, Daisy isn't ready with what she has paraphrased, so let's proceed. Remember, during the essay session, I taught us how to make your paraphrase, how to make it come out in the shortest time possible. So right there on your question paper with your pencil, all you need to do will be to identify the words you can change, right? That will mean the same thing in this context. Now, if you do that within 10 seconds or 15 seconds maximum, then within the next 25 seconds, you are already done with your paraphrase. So let's begin. The question says the graph below. Why do we have below? Because on the paper, the graph comes after this question. But on your answer sheet, will there be graph?
No.
So if you say below, what should the examiners look for? Nothing. Right? So you don't need to use anything that connotes below to substitute this guy. So you want to say, when you paraphrase this guy, you are saying the provided or the given. Do you understand? Then IELTS will deliberately use the general word or terminology for a particular assignment or task or event. Then when you are paraphrasing that particular general word, we want you to be very specific to whatever thing it is that you're seeing. So what type of graph is on the question paper?
It's a line graph.
Perfect. So you are to use the word directly. So you are to say the given line graph. We're just starting.
Okay.
So try to catch up.
Okay.
And that's for study too. So you need it. So that's the question right there before you. If you can read quickly, that's the question. So this is the formula for treating that question. Now the first thing you need to do as the beginning of your first paragraph is to paraphrase that question you have there on your answer sheet. Right? So we have the question and we need to make or do the paraphrase. That question says the graph below. But when you are paraphrasing, you have to change. Okay, so I'll take that again. The given line graph shows the amount of money spent by indwellers of the United Kingdom. The question is giving you the acronym of the country, UK. So when you are paraphrasing, you have to give the full name. UK is the United Kingdom, right? So the given line graph illustrates the amount of money spent by the indwellers of the United Kingdom during their trips overseas between a period of 20 years, ranging from 1993 to 2013. Do we understand this?
United Kingdom.
Please repeat.
During
All right, I'll take that again. The given line graph illustrates the amount of money spent by the indwellers of the United Kingdom during their trips overseas between a period of 20 years, ranging from 1993 to 2013. Is this taken? Is it clear to us?
yes.
Okay. So that is the paraphrase. So let me write that out just for note taking. Okay. All right, so that's the paraphrase on the board. Simply put, the given line graph illustrates the amount of money spent by the indwellers of United Kingdom during their trips overseas within a period of 20 years, ranging from 1993 to 2013. Now, that is a simple paraphrase of the original question that we have there on the board. So, according to the formula, after the paraphrase, what's the next thing you're supposed to do?
Unit of measure.
Unit of measurement is the next thing. Now, let me give you things that may constitute units of measurement on your question. What are the things that can constitute units of measurement on your question? Now, when you have a question, whatever it is, look intently on the question paper, because the unit of measurement is not always written boldly. It's just hidden somewhere. You can find it either at the top left-hand side of the chart or at the bottom part of the chart. So these units could be percentage. The unit can be numbers, that's hundreds, thousands, millions, billions, trillions. The unit can be currencies, dollars, pounds, euro. The unit of measurement can be centimeters. It could be kilograms. It could be kilometers. It can as well be tons, hectares. It can be acres. It could be anything. You just need to look intently to identify what the unit of measurement is. Right? So let's proceed. On your question paper, if you did a screenshot, on the question paper, please look intently tell me what the unit of measurement is. If you've seen it, let me come to you. All right.
Currency.
Currency. What currency?
Pounds.
Pounds. Is it just the currency that you can see?
In billions.
Billions of pounds.
Billions of pounds.
Please, always be very critical in your thinking and your analysis. Billions of pounds. The billions is in bracket, right?
Yes.
So it's to be acknowledged. So it means every figure on your
Left side is in billions.
on that axis is in billions of pounds. Do you understand this? Okay. Now, to initiate or to launch your unit of measurement, there are two templates to consider. You can either say or you say so you can launch your unit of measurement by taking any of these, by using any of these templates. So these templates must be written immediately after the full stop of your paraphrase. You continue on the same line. Remember, you are treating paragraph 1. So don't it constitutes another paragraph when you are trying to write this. Do you understand? So in your paragraph 1, the first thing is to paraphrase the question, which is you copying the question onto your answer sheet in a rephrased manner, right? So after that, you choose any of these templates to launch the unit of measurement, which you must have spotted on your question. So let's include that right here. Which should we use? The first or second?
Let's use the second.
The second. So we're saying
The unit hearing are measured
in what?
billions
Of dollars. Of pounds, sorry. Of pounds. Okay, are we to put
Okay, so at this point, my paragraph 1 is completed. Very straight to the point.
So, sir, please, can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
So, but you said we can either find the unit of measurement either at the top or under the line graph.
Anywhere, yes.
So, how are we certain that this one now is the unit of measurement?
Is there any other unit you're seeing there apart from that one?
I'm not seeing it. But can these numbers, maybe years or something?
No.
Okay. This thing now is the So when are you writing one?
Okay,
17.
so for continuation and continuity,
Where I am going to, they are not
there are
close dates.
there are two standards or two templates to introduce the unit of measurement. So we chose to use the second one. Now our paraphrase ended at this point. So after the paraphrase, we are bringing in the unit of measurement to the same paragraph, just immediately after the full stop of the paraphrase. So we have just written the units herein are measured in billions of pounds. This is because on the question paper, the unit of measurement is written there by just indicating the the symbol, currency symbol of pounds, and then in bracket it has billions. So it means that the unit of measurement is in billions of pounds. So at this point, you are done with the paragraph 1. Daisy, do you understand this? Mrs. Cody, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now, but I was out since.
Yes, that's why I went back to the parts that we treated. So I have to do it for you to catch up.
Okay.
So is it clear?
Yes.
Alright, Daisy, let me know if it's clear to you. Alright, so let's proceed. Let's go to the second paragraph. So the second paragraph is the overview. What's this overview? It is a technique or practice of giving a holistic information about a chart. Right? It is a practice or technique of giving a general or holistic information about the chart that you can see. So you're giving an overview of what the chart appears to look like. Right? Now, when you're giving the overview, do not make mention of any value. Don't talk about value when you are giving your overview. Yes, don't say overall this that had about 40 billion pounds in so and so. Don't bring in value in paragraph 2. Yes, but your paragraph 2 should cover 3 to 4 major features, which we shall look at right about now. The 3 or 4 major things your overview should cover would include subject and or objects, duration or period, keys, if applicable, then lastly we have highest, lowest, or similarities. These are the 3 to 4 areas your paragraph 2 should cover. Do we understand this? We're going to treat it, but I'm going to also take that. Taking?
Yes.
Say highest, lowest.
/ similarities. So to begin the paragraph 2, please, you may want to write quickly. Something to write?
Will you go over this for me again? Me that I'm just starting.
You're supposed to be here by 9.
Yes. What I'm saying is, I'm actually starting today because they are ahead of me already.
We are just doing this for the first time.
Oh.
So you are supposed to be here by 9 to catch up. Yeah. But there'll be, it's being recorded, so you can play the video.
I don't know that you go quickly and now I get a book. I'm going to write.
No, sir, you meet up.
Don't worry.
Meet up.
Don't worry. Can I give you plain sheets to write?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
Do you have a pen? Can I give you a pen?
No, it's not showing anything. Call it on laptop. I'm so sorry to disturb the class.
So they just sent me a text of my own speaking test to be on 24th
Of this month.
Yes.
The speaking usually comes before the other one.
If you register earlier.
I just want to do it.
Didn't I register early? It's just called
You
my
receive yours.
location.
No, you receive yours, don't worry. You're checking your email. It may get into the spam or junk of your email.
Okay.
So don't ignore those sections.
Okay.
I registered you 2 days or 3 days ago,
Yes. So
right? He has gotten
I was
his
registered before.
so please be checked. Okay, yours is Oka, and this is Abuja. Abuja is better organized.
Okay,
than
you're
Oka.
writing an Oka.
Yeah.
And it's far ahead, 17th, right?
Yeah.
So relax, you will get it.
Yeah, I checked.
Okay, so let's begin. Overall, you may write.
Okay, sir.
Overall,
That's in paragraph 2.
paragraph 2 right now, we're starting with the word overall.
Okay. Comma.
The graph.
Would there be comma after overall?
Yes, please. Overall, the graph shows that the UK residents,
I would say United Kingdom resident.
the UK residents, you don't need to say the United Kingdom, you have used it in the first paragraph.
Okay.
So can you still be paraphrasing in this?
Yes.
Like, can you, like that show, you can now use depicts.
No, we used illustrates in first paragraph. So now I can acknowledge their words shows.
Okay.
It's being careful. You must understand these things.
I understand. I get
We have used United Kingdom in the other paragraph, so now we can use the UK. So UK has been established originally in the first paragraph.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Aha. So let's proceed. Overall, the graph shows that the residents, you can see I'm using the residents, whereas in the first one we used indwellers. Good. So you have to be very meticulous. Overall, the graph shows that the indwellers of the UK invested their funds. Overall, the graph shows that the residents of the UK invested their funds into four different areas.
Will you write 4 in figure or what?
Yes, please. 4 in figure, very perfect. Or you spell the word and put the figure in brackets. Because I remember you're also meant to hit up to 150 and above. So you must also be calculative to be able to hit that. Can I continue?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The graph shows that the residents of the United Kingdom invested their funds into 4 different areas, such as holiday, business, visit friends or relatives, and miscellaneous. During their visits abroad. During their visits abroad between 1993 and 2013. Full stop. Is that taken? Continue on the same line after the full stop. according to the information on the chart, the 4 different areas of their spending, the 4 different areas of their spending were represented by different keys.
We are represented.
Yes, by different or with different keys. These include
Full stop.
no, comma. These include thick, dark line, thick, dark black line, dotted line, short broken line, and long broken line respectively. Is this taken? All right. Quite impressively, continue on the same line after the full stop. Quite impressively, after full stop, you start with capital letter. Quite impressively, it was recorded that the highest amount of money was spent on holiday. Whereas miscellaneous had the least amount of money spent. Quite impressively, it was recorded that the highest amount of money was spent on holiday, whereas miscellaneous had the least amount of money spent. Full stop. At this point, you have come to the end of your paragraph 2. Straightforward. Now, let's look at those 4 areas we pointed out earlier. I don't know if we can still find them on your notes. The 4 things I said you must cover during your overview. The first one was subject and objects, right?
Yes.
Now let's look at the paragraph 2 that we just treated. What do you think would be the subjects and objects?
The UK residents. The subjects.
Then objects, the areas of their spending, holiday, visit friends. Do you understand?
Yes.
Now let's look at the next one. Duration. Do we have duration there?
Yes.
What was that? Between 1993 and 2013, right?
Yes.
Now let's look at the third one. Keys. Is that correct?
Yes.
Do we have keys there?
Yes, sir.
What are the keys? The thick dark black line, the dotted lines, the short broken line, and the long broken lines. They are the keys that were used to represent the spending, right? Then lastly, the highest and lowest, we just have that, right? Please. I ought to not tell you these things. You be the one to decipher them and note them. See what IELTS said. Summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features and make comparisons where relevant. That's what I have to tell you. So you, on your own now, you be the one to report. So they are now waiting to see how much attention you are paying to the details of that paper or your question paper. Do you understand? So it's not like they will tell you, okay, please help us talk about this, talk about this. They just throw the thing at you. Let's see what you can do. So if you don't do it right, it's not the right candidate for us. Okay, so let's proceed to paragraph 3. This is where the main job lies. Paragraph 3. Paragraph 3, you now have to do what we call comparison. Comparison. So you want to now compare the different areas of their spendings according to the movement of the lines on the charts. This is where the job is. So let's begin. Your third paragraph, you should begin with the word comparatively. It's right here. Comparatively advanced expression. And it indicates that you want to do what? Compare. Comparatively, comma. The indwellers of the United Kingdom began their spending on holiday during their visits abroad or during their trips or okay, so I said for the third paragraph you are to begin with the word comparatively, right? So I gave the first comparison by saying that comparatively the indwellers of the United Kingdom began their spending on holiday during their tour or tours overseas.
Is it tour?
Yes.
It's tour.
T-O-U-R. Their tour overseas in the year 1993 with a rate of £9 billion. 9 billion pounds.
I don't know what to say against him.
Let me tell you what you do. If you have 9 billion pounds, buy Nigeria.
Yes, sir. And everybody needs.
The leaders will sell. They will sell.
Yes.
Okay. So now I said to write your 9 billion pounds. You may choose to write the 9 billion in figure all through by going this way. Right? So you may go this way, or you simply say 9 billion pounds.
The billion in bracket, right?
No, it's perfect. It has to be. This way, right?
Yes.
It shouldn't be in bracket because you're trying to express it. 9 billion pounds. Mrs. Cody, do you understand? Daisy, are you there?
What if you should write 9 in figure and now write billion pounds in words?
9 billion pounds. That means you're spelling 9, you spell billion, and you also spell pounds.
No, writing 9 in figure.
Okay?
Pounds in words.
8, 9, then you write billion pounds. Is it okay?
In word. No, it's better to spell the pounds in word as well as the 9, if you want to go by that.
Okay.
Yes. All right, so let's proceed. Furthermore, between 19, continue on the same line after the full stop. Furthermore, the amount of money spent on vacation, I'm paraphrasing what now? Holiday with vacation.
Furthermore, between or furthermore.
Furthermore, the amount of money spent on vacation experienced a gradual but significant increase. Gradual but significant increase between 1993 to 1998.
Please, can you take that the amount of money spent on vacation
Experienced a gradual but significant increase between 1993 to 1998. Or between 1993 and 1998. Between 1993 and 1998, when it recorded 12 billion pounds. When it recorded 12 billion pounds. Please check the question paper to understand what I'm describing. Thereafter, full stop. Thereafter, there was a skyrocket. Thereafter, there was a skyrocket on the amount of money expended on holiday. As it trajected. Pardon?
Please repeat.
I can't hear you, please.
Repeat the sentence, please.
Please tell me.
Based on the amount of money
expended
Expended
on holiday.
on holiday. Expended on holiday as it trajected. Trajected, or as it witnessed a trajectory. Because you need to blow these grammars. These are academic words. Trajectory, 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 trajectory. As it witnessed a trajectory up to the year 2008. which was its climax. Which was the climax, as it witnessed a trajectory up to the year 2008, which was the climax of their spending on holiday. With a record of about 25.5 billion pounds. With a record of about 25.5 billion pounds. £25.5 billion pounds. Meanwhile, a drastic decline was encountered. Between 2008 and 2009. Hence, it reduced to about 22 billion pounds. Hence, it reduced to about 22 billion pounds. Full stop. Notwithstanding, the amount of money spent on vacation by the UK residents experienced some fluctuations. Between 2009 to 2012. 2009 to 2012. After which there was a significant recovery. Between 2012 and 2013, to about 23.5 billion pounds. To about 23.5 billion pounds. All right, at this point, I would say this is the end of paragraph 3. Let me get you more.
easier to bring down things to write because you are seeing compared to AC. But from the AC, you have to think out, just imagine things and write this story. And then it's 250 words. That's the tax too of this writing inside. So I carry more mark than this one. From my days in secondary school, I never liked this. Don't give me stress.
Okay, so let's paragraph, the fourth paragraph.
So basically, that is paragraph 3. You just need to pick one of those keys and talk on it.
Not just one. It depends on the type of graph you're treating. If it's a graph, or if it's a graph that has about 5 different objects, you might choose the 2 most prominent ones and talk about in paragraph 3. Then the paragraph 4, you want to look at 1 or 2 or 3 of the remaining and just hit on little.
That's what we might do now.
That's what we're going to do right now. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's work on the last paragraph. Now, because we were only able to successfully compare 1 out of the 4 areas, we are now going to look at the 3 remaining ones and see a few things we want to talk about we want to say about them. Do you understand? So we are still going to compare in paragraph 4. So, but we will not say comparatively anymore. We will now say additionally or furthermore to start your paragraph 4. So we have started. So choose one to write. Additionally, business, visit friends or relatives, and miscellaneous. Additionally, business, visit friends or relatives, and miscellaneous each recorded various amounts of money spent by the indwellers of the United Kingdom during their tours or trips to foreign lands. Spent by the indwellers of the United Kingdom during their trips to foreign lands in the year 1993. In the year 1993, with the rates of £2 billion, £1.2 billion, and £0.8 billion, respectively. Is that taken? Mrs. Daisy, are you there? Can you hear me? Mrs. Scotty, can you hear me? Mrs. Scotty, can you hear me?
Yes, 0.8 billion can be expected as 800 million. Right?
800 million, yes, please. But remember, the units of measurement is in billions.
So it's good to reflect.
So you don't bring in an abstract unit. Okay, so let's proceed. Mrs. Scotty, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Did you get the information, the paragraph 4 that I've started?
Paragraph 4? No.
Okay, I have actually started paragraph 4. I'll just read out what we have. Excuse me. Additionally, are you there?
Yes.
Additionally, business, visit friends or relatives, and miscellaneous. Additionally, business, comma, visit friends or relatives, and miscellaneous, each recorded various amounts spent by the indwellers of the United Kingdom during their trips to foreign lands. In the year 1993, with the rates of £2 billion, comma, 1.2 billion pounds, comma, and 0.8 billion pounds respectively. Is that taken? Double wahala. Okay. Mrs. Scotty, can you hear me? Okay, can you hear me, Mrs. Scotty? All right. So let's proceed. I think she was kicked out of the Zoom session. Then, meanwhile, each of the mentioned areas experienced a gradual but where did you stop, please?
Recorded various amount spent.
Please read what you have. Let's hear.
Additionally, business, visit to friends or relatives, and the miscellaneous, each recorded various amounts spent.
By indwellers of the United Kingdom, during their trips to foreign lands. In the year 1993, with the rates 1993 with the rates of about £2 billion, £1.2 billion, and £0.8 billion, respectively. Full stop. Is that taken?
Yes.
Then continue on the same line after full stop. I just gave them. Meanwhile, each of the aforementioned areas, right? Each of the aforementioned areas.
Affirmation.
Yes, aforementioned. Aforementioned. AFOREMENTION. Aforementioned. Each of the aforementioned areas experienced a gradual but steady increase. Each of the aforementioned areas experienced a gradual but steady increase up to the year 2003. When miscellaneous experienced its apex. Apex is APEX. When miscellaneous experienced its apex. With the record of about £1.9 billion. With a record of about £1.9 billion. While visit friends or relatives and business had about £3 billion and £4 billion each.
Please repeat the sentence, please.
While visit friends or relatives and holiday and business, thank you. While visit friends or relatives and business had £3 billion and £4 billion each. Full stop. Taken?
Yes.
More so, In 2008, that's in 2008, business recorded its zenith. Its zenith, like Zenith Bank, Zenith. Business recorded its zenith with a rate of about £5.5 billion. While visit friends or relatives witnessed its highest spending, while visit friends or relatives witnessed its highest spending in the year 2013. With a rate of about £5 billion. Full stop. Contrarily, on the basis of similarities, it is evident that business and visit friends or relatives business and visit friends or relatives recorded similar amounts. Between 2009 and 2012. Full stop. Therefore, based on the above, it can be deduced that based on the above, it can be deduced that the highest amount of money was spent on holiday, while the lowest or the least amount or least spending was recorded against miscellaneous. Is that taken?
Yes.
At this point, this is the end of the report writing.
Yeah, I swear.
Now let me tell you something.
Under exam conditions, sir.
minutes of
Is 1 hour enough to write this?
This is